Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Once again, welcome here to the Evel de Consciences platform. In international news, Germany has just made a turnaround, a significant turnaround. Yes, Germany has just declared war on the Russian Federation. Just a few days ago, we saw the director of procurement for the Bundestag, that is, for the German army, announcing that Germany was not ready, that the country was not prepared to withstand a conflict with Russia. This lady laid out all the elements that prove Germany is not ready, that the German army is not ready. She even went so far as to say that they don't have ammunition, that they don't have military equipment. German soldiers don't have the means. In any case, the German army needs to be supplied as quickly as possible so that it can be ready by 2029. But even the 2029 deadline seemed unattainable in the eyes of the director of procurement, who is the woman in charge of all military equipment for the German army. So she has said that there were delays in the delivery of orders and all that. But to everyone's great surprise, yesterday, the 14th of July, 2025, it was the minister, yes, the German Minister of Defense, the same minister who had previously made statements to complain, to show that Germany was not ready. It was this minister who came out and announced that Germany is ready to send Russian soldiers to their eternal rest. He said it outright. I'm just not going to use the actual word, the real word that describes what is meant by sending someone to their eternal rest. He said that the German army is ready to send Russian soldiers to their eternal rest in the event of an attack on a NATO member country. That's what he said. And he provided other pieces of information. So it's a kind of declaration of war. Russia had somewhat forgotten about Germany. Russia had put Germany on the list of countries that should be attacked. And in fact, Germany was supposed to be attacked first, according to the Russian timeline. But then, Germany kept a low profile. Russia also started to forget about it. But now Germany, after having complained in all sorts of ways, suddenly breaks its silence like this and makes such statements that surprise the world. Russia has not yet responded. But let's dig deeper. We are going to look at the real substance of the threat coming from Germany, which not even 24 hours ago was saying that nothing was going well. Now we wonder, is Germany making this statement just for the sake of making statements to please others? Does Germany just want to deter Russia? But Russia cannot be deterred. It cannot be deterred. It is not deterrable. Does Germany simply want to deter? Or does Germany want to correct its previous communication in which this woman-less call-head spokesperson for the German Ministry of Defense had exposed all the problems the German army was facing? Question mark. We will understand as we go along. Let's dive deeper, ladies and gentlemen. But before we continue, please give lots of likes. Always leave a comment with your thoughts. And if this is your first time here, if you've just come across my video conference, please subscribe and click on subscribe. This way, you won't miss any of my video conferences or any international news. So, let's get to the official information. Germany is baring its teeth at Russia. Yes. This Monday, the 14th of July, 2025, speaking to the American media outlet, Financial Times, the German Minister of Defense stated that his troops are ready to kill, to send Russian soldiers to their eternal rest in the event of an attack on a NATO member country. Germany, which can't even defend itself to begin with, now wants to defend NATO countries. So he says this. He says, if deterrence doesn't work and Russia attacks, will it happen? He was asked, if deterrence doesn't work and Russia attacks NATO member countries, will this happen? He says, yes, it will happen. This is the German Minister of Defense. His name is Boris Pistorius. Now, what needs to be said is that on May 22nd, we should remember that on May 22nd, the German army inaugurated the deployment of a brigade of 5,000 men in Lithuania. And Lithuania, do you know it? It's one of the Baltic countries. And Lithuania is indeed one of the countries that is widely considered by the Western nations to be on the immediate list of those sovereign states that will be quickly and aggressively attacked by Russia. Consequently, Germany has already dispatched a significant brigade consisting of 5,000 well-equipped men. What are 5,000 men going to do against the overwhelming power of the Russian army, which numbers over 200,000? That is to say, every year, they recruit 200 and some thousand people. So he says this. He says, I recommend you go to Vilnius and talk to the representatives of the German brigade on site. They know exactly, there you go, he says, they know exactly what their job entails. So the German Minister of Defense tells the journalist, I recommend you go to Vilnius, that's in Lithuania, and question the German brigade stationed there. They know exactly what their job is. So it's as if Germany is saying that it has already prepared the ground in Lithuania and that its soldiers are ready to send Russian soldiers to their eternal rest. There you have it. It's no contest. If Russia were to start something against a NATO member country or a NATO allied country, it's automatic. Russian soldiers would immediately get their ticket to eternal rest as quickly as possible. That's what he means. So this is a statement that stands out from the traditional culture of restraint maintained by Germany and the Bundeswehr on military matters, especially since World War II. Yes, Germany does not usually engage in confrontational rhetoric. Normally, Germany hasn't spoken like this since World War II. So this new way of speaking is indeed new. We don't know if it was instigated by Friedrich Merz, since the media have talked about it, and we discussed it very recently. The statement made by the spokesperson for the Bundeswehr, that is the German army, went against the agitation and intentions, as well as all the statements made by Friedrich Merz. And who is Friedrich Merz? He is the new German chancellor who has been very vocal against Russia, against Vladimir Putin. So, and Minister thoughtfully says, if this situation happens, if it should indeed come to pass, then we absolutely must make our significant contribution. He says this. He says, the federal minister has always been convinced that if you want to talk about peace and detente on equal footing, you can only do so from a position of strength at eye level. That's what he said. So the ministry has always thought, is convinced, his ministry is convinced that if you want to talk about peace, you have to be in a position of strength. So that's it. They're going back to their old theories. You know, what has always been the old Western theory? Ukraine should be in a position of strength before going to the negotiating table. Otherwise, it wouldn't be to Ukraine's advantage. Well, all this commotion is coming to light following the bombastic statements made by American President Donald Trump. So he says this. In conclusion, the German Minister of Defense emphatically states, we genuinely want to live in peace and harmony with you, but please do not ever think that we are inherently weak or that we will not courageously defend ourselves and our vital interests. That's still true today. Here's what Boris Pistorius said. But meanwhile, the Germany refuses to deliver Taurus missiles to Ukraine, fearing a direct confrontation between Russia and NATO. If they are ready, why aren't they delivering them? And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top story in international news. And I'll be back with more news for you shortly. That was the voice of your one and only samurai.